North Carolina man's crypto account was drained of $80,000 after he clicked on a link for a virtual meeting.
I got scammed out of $500, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I learned from it.
I got scammed out of over $100,000, so I'm gonna tell you all about it.
Okay, so today we got another set of scams that I've come across online recently. You already know what this is all about. Hopefully this could prevent you or someone you know from getting scammed, because these people think of new ways to get you to part with your money every single day. We have a lot to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But I don't want to waste any more time on the intro. Let's start off with a video with a little bit of recent news in the sneaker world.
I'm honestly surprised about how many people are shocked about the Cool Kicks and whatnot situation. If you aren't aware, Adil, the owner of Cool Kicks, was just arrested last night and booked by Bunko Forgery Division, which handles cases involving fraud, counterfeit goods, and more. You can also see right here, they seized a bunch of items. And it's not looking good at all for Cool Kicks, but if you've been tapped into the sneaker industry, you would know that Cool Kicks and Adil have been doing this. They had beef with a whole nother store that Cool Kicks literally sold them a bunch of fake items, and then they exposed them, and then Cool Kicks came back with a bunch of lawsuits and stuff. But Whatnot itself has no authenticity process, has no legit check process, has no return policy either. It's very unfortunate to see that these people would rather put money over morals, especially, I mean, you got to think about it. These people are getting products for so cheap and selling them for, especially at Cool Kicks and Adil, I mean, they're selling Panda Dunks for like $150, $160 and getting them for probably $15, $20. That's insane!
So I wanted to start off with this because we are nearing the holiday season. A lot of people start buying items online for each other. I know the sneaker world is not nearly as popular as it was a couple years ago, but still, this is one of the biggest sneaker shops getting caught selling stolen and fake items. The more that I see these examples, the harder it is to trust anything online right now. Like they said, websites like Whatnot had no authenticity guaranteed. There's been examples of Nike buying their own Jordans off of StockX. That does go through the authenticity process, but still, even fakes get through there as well. I like to add in, this doesn't just pertain to the sneaker world like Jordans and Yeezys. They make replicas of Hoka's and On Cloud running shoes as well. I was looking these shoes up myself on eBay, and I was finding listings that were just too good to be true. So far, I've seen fake Hoka, On Cloud, and even Birkenstocks advertised on the TikTok shop, so I would just be very careful on where you're buying these items, especially during the holiday season. I feel like a lot of people would end up getting scammed at the end of the day.
I hope you're having a better day than me, because I just got home in my hometown. Say hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. That threw me off for a second. And I've been crying literally all afternoon because I got a spam call. I got a spam call saying that I had 2 warrants out for my arrest because I missed jury duty. Except I didn't miss jury duty, and I never even received it in the mail. But me being the anxious human being that I am, I heard that and I was like, oh my God, and I start sobbing. I literally run downstairs, get a pen and paper, because this man's telling me that I have to write all this down and blah, 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 blah. And I send, I'm not going to say who, but I have to send money via Zelle or Apple Pay to release my bond so I don't get arrested. And you know what the name is for the Zelle? Kitty. Blah, blah, blah at yahoo.com.
And that didn't set off some red flags in the first place? I know, of course, out of nowhere, if you get a warrant out for your arrest, you'd probably start panicking. But if you have to use Zelle or Apple Pay at a random Yahoo account, I'm going to venture to guess that that's not the official police email. We could go over to the comments. Me too. The same thing just happened to me. This same exact thing happened to me as well. I'm sorry. This happened to me too, except that they told me someone I know is in jail. I mean, there are a lot of comments like this. Another comment from you guys right here. I stopped a woman from being scammed at the post office. She was trying to get a money order and send it to Florida. I stepped in and asked, do you know this person in real life? The elderly woman said no. I explained to her that it was a scam. Every cashier and postal worker should be educated on this. This was most likely talking about a previous example we saw of somebody buying a bunch of Visa gift cards because this older woman believed she was talking to Elon Musk, and the cashier went through all of it. It's just a random WhatsApp number, just a straight up scam. So this is why I make these types of videos. No matter how vigilant you believe you are, or how obvious these scams might be to some people, others just don't realize it until it's too late, like this next example.
Y'all, I just got scammed out of $150. And I'm pissed. Like, I'm about to call the police. let me tell you, I should reword this because me and my boyfriend got scammed out of $300, okay? He paid $150 and I paid $150. Let me tell you how it happened. Mainly, if you are in Cincinnati, and hopefully you don't make the same mistake, the same stupid mistake I did. So, I'm sure nobody else will, but I fell for it, and I'm not even a gullible person. Like, I'm not. I don't trust people at all. Like, I've literally never been scammed before in my life. Not kidding. So, I'm on Facebook, okay? I can't breathe because I'm so pissed off. I'm on Facebook the other day, and I see this guy had posted Bengals tickets for sale, right?
And that's all we really needed to hear. They were on Facebook and a random guy posted up some tickets to the football game. And you could probably guess exactly what happened. She ends up getting scammed for, I guess, $300 in total from some bogus account of a person that probably doesn't even exist. One thing that I would like to add in the comment section, because she was talking about scams, you start getting a whole bunch of these bot comments as well. I guess they just search for keywords, and these are all most likely either completely fake accounts or compromised accounts, just spamming this one analyst over and over again. This kind of stuff has only gotten worse since I started making videos on this topic. But unfortunately, with the sports tickets or concert tickets, this is not a one-off issue either.
I just got scammed by Vivid Seats. We bought 4 tickets for Bad Bunny and they were invalid when we checked them, so do not buy from Vivid Seats. It's legit a full-on scam. We flew from Miami to Puerto Rico and just lost time and money because the tickets are sold out and the customer service is absolute garbage. They have not even given us a refund. They're just giving us credit. Do not ever buy from Vivid Seats. It's a scam.
Well, I'd hope that she was going to Puerto Rico for a vacation, not just solely the concert, because that becomes even more costly compared to just getting scammed out of the tickets. But I've heard people have similar issues with these websites as well. Everything looks completely fine and legit until your ticket gets scanned and said that they're already in the venue, which I mean, of course, would suck overall, along with the poor customer service. They got credits, so they still have to use it on the website instead of getting their money back. But this particular example gets even worse because they flew to the location for what seems like that concert. Another comment from you guys here. I get the classic, your package is being held at this location. Please submit tons of personal information or it'll be lost in the next 3 hours. I still get a ton of those texts to this day. I haven't gotten too much of the highway toll scam text recently. I know that that was very popular over the summer because more people are traveling, so I guess that's used more often when people are driving around. I wouldn't doubt it would make a comeback during the holiday season, but now we could go over into the subtopic of people believing they're having relationships with celebrities online.
Crazy lately. My mom, who's been married to my dad for 53 years, is having an online affair with a scam artist. So I'm wondering if anybody else has had that happening to them. Like 53 years of marriage, and she's now has given $2,300, $2,300 to some stranger. Could be a guy, could be a girl. I could call it The Voice. I'm not really sure what to call it. She does not care what her children think. She does not care about us at all. And it's just really bizarre.
My mother and aunt are doing this. Both of them believe they're in love with Tracy Atkins. My mom thinks she's in an online relationship with Eric Clapton. It's been over a year and she won't listen to anything. My friend's mom just divorced her husband of 40 plus years, thinking that she's going to get married to Kevin Costner and moving to California. There are 5,000 comments in this thread and many clips like this up on screen right now. You guys don't have to worry about me for too much longer because my dad just told me he's been talking to Jennifer Lopez on Facebook and she's gonna give him $20,000 to be my stepmom. Oh man. If you think you're delusional, just remember my mother thinks she's in a relationship with the lead singer of Creed. This is my mother, but she thinks she's talking to Dean Lewis. Mind you, she's 50 plus and has watched Catfish with me. Maybe it's a universal experience. I work with a woman and she thinks she's in a secret relationship with Johnny Depp. He supposedly sent her a brand new Mercedes with $120,000 in cash in the backseat, but it's stuck in customs right now. Ah, that's unfortunate. My husband's grandma thought she was friends with Toby Keith. She's been sending him money and this was after he died. I guess when that story came out with that woman who lost hundreds hundreds of thousands of dollars thinking that she was talking to Brad Pitt, the floodgates just opened because this seems extremely common now. And I mean, I guess we all hope that it won't happen to us in our old age, but it seems like there's a good amount of people that aren't 100% there in the head, and they fall for this kind of stuff left and right. Here's an example from you guys as well. A lady at my church is currently being scammed out of her life savings left by her dead husband because she thinks she's engaged to Mark Harmon from NCIS. We've all tried to convince her it's a scam, but she won't listen. It's very sad. So to me, it sounds like it's going to keep happening because the people who are being scammed won't think any other way. They'll just get their money consistently siphoned out of them until they're completely broke, and then the scammer will move on to another target. It really is sad to see, but hopefully showing all of these different examples could turn a switch in someone's mind and realize they're just getting screwed.
North Carolina man's crypto account was drained of $80,000 after he clicked on a link for a virtual meeting. Kenneth Nicholson has a YouTube channel where he talks about cryptocurrency. Someone reached out to him saying he had questions and requested a virtual meeting, but it turned out it was a scammer. The scammer had sent Nicholson a link to download some software for the meeting, and it ended up wiping $80,000 from his account. His advice is to slow down when responding to messages.
I think my advice is to basically completely ignore almost everything you get now. This is coming from another YouTuber as well. I've talked about my experiences with the phone too. I just don't answer any of my phone calls unless they're already in my contacts list. And if somebody truly wanted to get a hold of me, they would leave a voicemail and then I'd know that they weren't some sort of scam or robot. Same thing with text messages as well. And you could add in any sort of emails also. I remember a previous video, some people were getting their information stolen because they were trying to unsubscribe from just spam emails. However, it would take you to another link on a website to unsubscribe, and then they'd start getting your information that way. You truly can't trust anything now, and especially with the new wave of AI crap, it's just going to get more ridiculous.
I was offered tens of thousands of dollars to promote an AI calorie tracking app, and this is why I said no. First of all, no one can convince me that AI can look at a picture of my food and tell me the macros accurately. How could anything know whether this is 20% fat or 5% fat? This 20% fat is 440 more calories than the 7%. And that major difference can be the line between losing or gaining weight. The problem is a lot of beginners may not know this. Then they'll use the tool, not see results, get discouraged, and quit. Now I get it. This may be useful in some scenarios or to learn about calories. Personally, I don't think technology is there yet, and influencers should prioritize their audience over making a quick buck.
Okay, so we have a couple things to talk about. Of course, AI is the new buzzword. Every company under the sun is using some sort of AI, right? We have an AI tracking calculator. All it needs is photos of your food and magically knows exactly what's in it. Of course, it won't be accurate. He just proved why. But on the other hand, you have a lot of influencers getting paid a ton of money to promote that same AI crap. So more people are going to believe that it actually works because this guy with 1 million followers said so. Just ignore the fact that he probably got paid 5 figures to say that. And this is how everything slowly gets worse and worse. But we could keep on the subtopic of influencers with another story here.
I got scammed out of over $100,000, so I'm gonna tell y'all about it. The past couple months I haven't had a TikTok management and I have been doing it all on my own. About 2 weeks ago, I got a message from what I thought was Urban Outfitters, and they were offering me a 6-month partnership for $50,000. About a week goes by, and they tell me that I can pick as many items on their website as I wanted, which honestly should have been my first red flag, but I was like, Urban Outfitters is a huge brand. They have the money to send me as many items because that's like nothing to them. So I thought. After that, they told me that the items I picked were perfect and that they were very happy with my selections and that we could move forward. But then last week I was in the Bahamas and I got the email that made everything go downhill. It was an email of them asking me to pay an independent contractor fee of like $300, which to me made absolutely no sense. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I just don't understand this. And then they sent me an email of who to send the money to. And this is when I knew everything was about to go downhill.
And it just goes into the previous story with the woman who had the fake warrants. You're going to have to Venmo or Apple Pay this random guy, nothing pertaining to Urban Outfitters whatsoever. And instead of that lucrative influencer deal, you just gave them a few $100 and they'll disappear. I thought this was pretty well known in the creator community because I've been getting hounded non-stop since basically I started this channel, and I've shown you guys countless examples that I see on a daily basis. Here's one that I just got: Duolingo collaboration proposal. My name is Roger Chapman. I represent Duolingo. If you just do a Google search, Roger Chapman from Duolingo does not exist whatsoever. A leading language learning applications, plural. That's not a correct sentence. Another red flag. We believe your content aligns perfectly with our audience. How? I don't think it really aligns whatsoever. I don't teach anything with language. It's in English only. Doesn't make sense. I can't even tell you how many different brands: Rode, Sony, Facebook, Nvidia. Those are just a couple of them I can name right off the top of my head, but just the email it's sent from alone is a random French email. Nothing legitimate whatsoever, and I bet she got the exact same thing from apparently Urban Outfitters, and she almost got scammed out of a few $100s.
People are starting to up-badge their cars for profit, and you need to be aware of this. And I want to know if you think this is morally correct or if it's incorrect. So behind me right here is an M5. And on the M5, you have a base M5 and a M5 competition. Now, besides the appearance and the window sticker, there's really no way to actually know if it's a competition or not. And some people are starting to make their cars look like a higher trim level to get more money, when in reality, it's just the base model. So this right here is an M5 without the competition package. It is still a fantastic car, but let me show you what people are doing to change their cars. So on the M5, you get black or carbon fiber grills like this one has when it's a competition model. You also get black trim around here as well, and the option for a carbon fiber roof. But the regular badges, I could easily make this badge black and at a competition level and take advantage of somebody if I wanted to. Obviously, I would never do that. A lot of dealers are starting to say, oh, I can't provide the original window sticker. Oh, we don't have records of it being a competition or not. And people are doing this on all sorts of models to try to take advantage. On the Porsche turbos, they're adding an S badge to make it a Turbo S.
So I've started to see more issues with this with the current car market. Not too many people are buying vehicles at way over MSRP. The car dealerships are not making nearly as much money as they did a couple years ago. So if you start going to some shady places, finding vehicles that seem too good to be true, they could be pulling the scam on you and making a ton of money off of it. There aren't too many differences on some of these models, especially if you don't specifically know what to look for, and then out of nowhere you paid M5 competition prices for a base M5. Same thing with the Porsche market right now. They are unbelievably expensive. But we keep on going with the car scams because there are many of them.
Oh, that's why you didn't want to give me the VIN number. I'm here to see the Prius.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where can I park the car?
You can park right here.
It's definitely a lot rougher than the pictures. Got it. How many miles did it have? 104? Mm-hmm. Yeah. In 2019 it had 188. In 2019, 200,000 miles. That's probably why you didn't want to give me the VIN number. If the deal is too good to be true, most of the times it's too good to be true. Always check the VIN before you go out somewhere. If the seller doesn't want to give you the VIN before, then you know it's a problem.
Some of the comments, that's 100% a chop shop. Please report it to the cops. That's illegal. It looks like a chop shop anyway. Not a single toolbox around. So this was an obvious example of rolling back the odometer, even on a Toyota Prius. And I mean, they were trying to cut off over 100,000 miles. I feel like a lot of people know about looking at a Carfax anyway, but still, if you're just going in trying to find an older Prius that's not too expensive, but you know, pretty reliable, good gas mileage, something to get you from point A to point B, you could get taken advantage of and have a way rougher car at the end of the day. And I would like to add, with a lot of the modern cars where everything is a screen, there are definitely ways you could go into the computer system with other pieces of technology and start rolling back the odometer as well. I feel like this will become more and more common, especially if you're looking to buy from shady businesses.
Okay guys, got sent this from the Pennsylvania Toll Pike, right? Okay. Now this is pretty obviously AI, right? But anyway, that's my plate. That's my car. So let's take a look again. That's what they sent me. This is me. That's what they sent me. This is me.
Okay, so either one of two things is happening here. I don't know if the Easy Pass mail is actually legit. It could be completely fake, as we're going to see in the next example, or you're going to have to fight with Easy Pass because they took a photo of a completely different car. He had a Chevy Camaro. The photo from the mail was a Dodge Challenger. I don't know if it was AI or not, but either way, I feel like they're banking on some people not wanting to deal with the headache and they'll just pay it off and forget about it. So regardless with what is actually happening in this situation, you're getting scammed either way.
I'm telling y'all, man, tax scams are getting out of hand. Now they're even sending you letters that look like legitimate IRS letters, but they're actually scams. One of the most obvious things in a letter like this is that they spelled IRS with period after each letter. Now, this might not be so obvious to a regular person, but to us tax professionals, it is. I mean, this is just one of the ways that, you can catch. There's other ways, the fonts, the letter number, sometimes there's a letter ID and so on and so forth. So my advice is anytime you get an IRS letter and you are unsure about the tax due, show it to your tax professional. I mean, they can tell if you had a balance due for that year or not, and so on and so forth.
And here we have another example of something that people would panic over. As we've seen on this channel with people not paying the IRS, they will go after you. Maybe you'll get away with it for months or years, but eventually they will come knocking and they will take whatever they could get. They'll garnish your wages. There honestly is no escaping. So if out of nowhere you get this in the mail, you start panicking, not actually reading over everything, I bet some people never realized that this was completely fake and they lost all of their money.
We do it often without thinking, tapping our phones to pay for things. But ghost tapping takes advantage of that. Fraudsters use small hidden devices to charge tap-enabled cards or digital wallets. The Better Business Bureau says this is the latest kind of technology scam.
Ghost tapping requires no physical contact, unfortunately. They can just be in the area, in maybe a couple of feet away.
Scammers use radio frequency identification to charge your account. RAFDs are the same technology used in chip-enabled cards. Sometimes they're just small test charges, so they're easy to miss. To protect yourself, double-check the merchant name and charge amount before you tap. Use RFID protection sleeves for your cards, and stay alert in crowded places, especially if your phone is in your pocket.
I feel like this is the next level of these scams where people would put these devices over, ATMs. I saw examples at gas pumps as well, where it would log all the numbers on your credit cards, your PINs, and then they'd be able to take that information and use it to buy other things. Now with Apple Pay being so popular, you could just be in a crowded area and you'd have no idea that people were trying to take your information.
Is this an open house?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I just purchased this house a month ago. Yeah, wow, I'm so sorry that you...
Well, it's listed as a rental, and it was this house.
On what company?
On Craigslist.
Oh, on Craigslist.
You should go.
I'm gonna go check that out. Thank you.
Yeah.
My home is a rental on Craigslist.
So I guess this scam is still running in 2025. We could go over to the comments. Common scam. They use the listing photos and rob some poor person who pays for the application fee and any sort of deposits. And honestly, you'd have no way of knowing other than this person going up asking if this was a rental. I know that there are far less people who use Craigslist in today's world, but a lot of these scams have kind of just transitioned over to Facebook Marketplace.
All right, this is hella sketch. This is the second gas station I've stopped at, and there are these Middle Eastern people that are giving some story on that they're on their way to California and their wife got their funds stuck or I don't know what, and they're asking for money. They're all wearing hella jewelry, they have money, and they're scamming people at gas stations.
I'm not giving any money to someone in a Yukon Denali as they're driving a GMC $80,000 SUV. I really don't know how they'd be getting any cash from people. I guess it's just the sympathy play right there, but as obvious of a scam that this seems to me, I guess it still works because they wouldn't be doing it if they were making no money. But we'll finish off this video with this clip.
I got scammed out of $500 and I'm going to tell you exactly what I learned from it. Number one, if it's sketchy in any way, shape, or form, like the tiniest bit sketchy, then it is probably a scam, and by probably a scam, I mean it is definitely a scam. The jewelry brand that scammed me basically said that they were going to give me an upfront payment of $300, and then they for some reason changed their minds to $500, and then they kept changing their minds. So even though, yes, they were technically giving me $500 instead of $300, it was a little funny, and that should have been my first red flag. There's just no room for being like, oh, well, they could have blah, or you just can't be reasonable in any way.
And that's honestly what it boils down to in a majority of situations. If it's too good to be true, then it probably is. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.